Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. Let me simply begin by saying what a joy it is to be here with you, just to be in the light, in the awareness, and the love that that awareness prompts within us. There's nothing to do, nothing to simply be more than who you are, that loving light, that goodness within you, very happy to create whenever called upon to do so. Just a couple of things before we begin today. First of all, we'll be having our testimonial tonight from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I will be doing the testimonial on someone. This person has passed. I think you'll find it extremely enjoyable. And then also, just to let you know that all of our programs on Monday, Labor Day, will continue as usual. Our alchemy program in the morning, in the afternoon, and then our Monday evening meditation. Let me begin by saying again, I am most edified by the several responses that so many of you have made to the series of teachings of not returning to the ego. This sense of not returning to the ego is more than just a good idea. I see that realistically, it is a real shift in so many of us. We're able to see ourselves shifting from simply viewing ourselves as a body with a worldly personality to seeing ourselves as a conscious, eternal soul manifesting through our bodies and through our personalities here in the material realms. Something has changed within us. The old stuff of the ego just doesn't seem to fit anymore. And that new you, that new I, we have emerged with a different view of life. A conscious, eternal soul, consciously creating. Well done to all of us. Well done to all of us. It is this different view of life that I would now like to share with you as we conclude the series of not returning to the ego. Today's teaching is entitled Creativity and Oneness. Let's begin. Perhaps you recall that I began this teaching of not returning to the ego by using the analogy of U-turns. In fact, this movement away from the ego began with these three U-turns. The first one, a U-turn from the ego to your inner soul consciousness. And then that second one, a U-turn from your soul consciousness to the God consciousness. And then thirdly, from the God consciousness into the larger universal consciousness, the unified field of consciousness, as Jim Self likes to say. This shift, this series of U-turns, turning yourself around, began with those specific steps, but they included then the following. First of all, a devotion to the spiritual practices that we have, a real devotion. I want to do my spiritual practices. And with that, a clear understanding that the spiritual practices help to illuminate the divine presence within us. Then we addressed caring for our bodies, so very, very important as we experience the divine here and now physically. We proceeded to releasing the residuals of the ego, not trying to fix the unfixable ego, but rather focusing on the opposite soul qualities that already exist within us. And then in last week's teaching, we focused again on the results of these U-turns, namely daily acts of kindness and love. We're now ready to add the last two pieces of the puzzle. Perhaps pieces is not the proper word. Rather, we are now ready to add the last two overviews, the last two ways of looking at our lives on the whole, truly learning to understand more about ourselves. These last two ways are the feelings, the experiences of creativity and oneness. Notice again, I said the word feeling, experience. It's very important for us to feel, to experience these notions of creativity and oneness. These are internal energies that are at the very center of who we are and what we do. Let's begin, first of all, with the feeling, the experience of creativity. Eckhart Tolle was very fond of saying that there are what he called pointers in life, certain things that point to something higher. For example, this notion of pointing is very helpful for us to experience the feeling of creativity in these three following examples. The first one from Paramahansa Yogananda. Many of you know this saying from Paramahansa, that there is something within you. There is something within you that is always fresh and new. Don't you ever want to ask yourself, well, what is it? What is that something within us that is always fresh and new and does not diminish with time? It's a good question to ask yourself. Where's the freshness? Where's the newness that is really within us? Where does it come from? Or take the case of a young child, a second example, or perhaps maybe yourself. When the child or you says, if I just get this one thing, I'm never going to ask for anything more. And of course, not just the child, but often you end up always asking for more. Well, what is it within you that always makes you want more? What is it within you that is never quite satisfied with what you have? What is this sense of not being satisfied with what you have pointing to? It's a good question. The third example, a phrase that I have used for years, the sickly cyclicals, repeating the same old things over the years, trying to relive a past that just keeps going on in circles, in circles, in circles. Sickly cyclicals, just going around and around and around. Something is simply missing when we simply go around and around and around. What I want to suggest to you is that each of these three examples is a pointer. It's a pointer to something that we feel within us, although it's hard to put a finger on it. But now we know that feeling within us, that feeling within us that the examples point to is the feeling. It is the experience of our creative energy that at our very core, of which we are conscious, we are free creative energy. Let me now focus on these two very important notions of this creative energy that is at our center. First, we are now conscious of the fact that we are this creative energy. Let me repeat this. We are conscious. We know. We clearly understand. There's no mystery about the fact that we are creative energy. So if someone were to ask you, well, who are you really? I think you could probably give a pretty clear answer. Well, I am the creative energy of God. I am the creative energy of God. And not only that, but I am conscious of being this energy. It's no longer confusing to me. I realize that I am the creative energy of God, and I realize that I am consciously in control of this energy. Do you not realize how much you have advanced, of how much you have come to know about yourself, that you are in a creative partnership with God, and that you're conscious of being so, that you really are what God is doing as you. Such an understanding sometimes takes your breath away. You do have to pinch yourself sometimes saying, am I hearing these words? Is this truly myself? That I am a conscious energy of God, freely creating here in the material realms. You have made the final U-turn. You have made the final U-turn. You are conscious of who you are and what you're doing. You are the creative energy of God, consciously bringing beauty into form. Well done. Well done. Let me now give you an added way of understanding your conscious creativity. It comes from a teaching in a course in Mastering Alchemy. The Alchemy course defines this conscious energy of God as the undifferentiated light. The undifferentiated light. What does that mean? You obviously want to ask. In its simplest terms, the undifferentiated light means these two things. First of all, the undifferentiated light is the conscious creative energy in you that you are aware of. It's your creative impulse. It's your inner momentum to create. Undifferentiated at the moment, but very alive within you. Now, the second thing, it's simple and it's clear, especially in this question and answer. What do you do? The question, what do you do with the undifferentiated light? The answer, you differentiate it. What do you do with this undifferentiated light? Well, you differentiate it. You differentiate it. You differentiate it into all of your expressions of life. Who decides these expressions? You do. You are the differentiating light of your creative energy. Isn't this wonderful to know and to do daily? You wake up each morning with this clear understanding that you will freely and consciously create your day from the undifferentiated light that you will differentiate into expressions of beauty, into form. But now here's the real juice, the real pizzazz of this understanding. Notice that I said, okay? Notice that I said that you differentiate this undifferentiated light. Now here's the point. This undifferentiated light is light. Now remember what light is. Light is, I know you remember this, illumination. It is knowing and understanding of what is important. You are now differentiating the undifferentiated light from the light that is within you. I'll say it again. You are differentiating the undifferentiated light from the light that is within you. This light that is within you is in perfect harmony with the undifferentiated light of the creative energy of the divine. You are the light of the world in your world. I know you see this. This light of God in you is differentiating the undifferentiated light of God. Do you not truly realize how far you have come? You have made that final U-turn from the separated ego into the light of God as you. I know you know this. It's no longer the little you. Rather, you are accepting your rightful place, truly, as a co-creator here in the material realms. Marvelous. Again, well done. Well done. And with this wonderful addition, we are helping each other to do so, which now brings me to the concluding point of these teachings, not the concept, but rather the feeling of oneness. This feeling, this experience of oneness has two very important qualities, which I happily share with you. First one, the feeling of oneness. The feeling of oneness is a recognition. It's a knowing that your soul self is a participation in the God energy. Your soul self is a participation in the larger God energy. And because you feel this connection to God, you feel a connection with everything that God is, namely everyone and everything. Let me just say it again. Because you feel from within your soul self, your participation in the God energy, you feel one with everyone and everything. There is nothing that you don't feel connected to anymore. There's an excitement just in your day to know that you're connected. There's a comfortability within you with everyone and with everything. More and more, you're able just to feel at home wherever you might be. A sense of, well, I'm meant to be where I am, with whomever I am. This feeling of oneness is the main reason why you will not be returning to the ego. The ego is always about me and mine. It separates you from others. That doesn't fit anymore. Oneness is about us and ours. It is a shared sense of life. You feel this presence. It's an experience. It just makes you want to love everyone and everything. Which leads then to the second point. This feeling of oneness makes you want to share your goodness. It makes you want to extend your goodness wherever you can. It becomes thrilling to share your love. It's fun to share your love. I mean, honestly, did you ever think you would say to yourself, it's fun to share my love? It's thrilling. The Course in Miracles presents this idea beautifully when it states that as God has extended his love to you, so now, as God has extended his love to you, so now you are an extension of God's love to others. Now, again, in your wildest imagination, did you ever think you would honestly say, I am an extension of God's love, and be enthusiastic about that, and love the people, love the pets, love the earth, love the universe, because you love to love? That is what we are becoming, extensions of the God energy. That's why you have reached the point of not returning to the ego. I'll just say it again. We are now experiencing ourselves as extensions of the God energy. Did I say consciously? Ah, yes. We are consciously seeing ourselves, experiencing ourselves, feeling that we are extensions of the God energy. That's why you've truly reached the point of not returning to the ego. We have changed. We have changed our sense of self. We have evolved from separated egos to the oneness of eternal souls, consciously creating our daily realities. We've done this. In conclusion, I trust that you've enjoyed these series of teachings, beginning with these 3 U-turns and now our sense of oneness and creativity with everyone and everything. It's a legitimate question to ask, what's next? The answer, what's next, is the continuing development of our conscious loving presence as eternal souls in exploring the material realms and beyond. What is absolutely clear is that the game of separation is over. No returning to the ego. The game of alignment is on, fully now expanding from within, not only to what is without, but also to what is above and beyond. Did I mention we're doing this consciously? And we're doing it together. This is pretty exciting. Let me now take you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. And let us begin as we normally do by simply focusing our intention on our twin subjects today, creativity and oneness, and allowing the breath to do what the breath does to help us to settle our bodies, reduce chatter from our minds, and to bring our conscious souls to the fore. Please begin. And would you now say, and I think it's easy to do in this venue today, here I am again, here I am. This is the inner me. This is the inner me. And what I ask you to do is maybe to place your right hand over the top of your breastbone, your sternum. And again, just focus your presence of the inner me within yourself. It's not an organ, it's not like another liver. It's an inner presence. It's the non-physical, spiritual you. Would you just know that? Oh yeah, here I am. Here I am. This is the inner you that Eckhart Tolle so often talked about. The inner you. And would you notice that this inner you is a presence? It's you. It's the you that is in charge of what you're doing. It's your creative energy. Oh, and did I say you're conscious of this? Now, I'm going to suggest a few things to you this morning about this conscious inner you. The first one is, would you notice how good it feels just to be this conscious inner you? We're not talking about doing anything yet. We're just talking about this is a very satisfying presence, this inner me. And would you simply acknowledge the wholeness, the contentment that you feel right now, right at this moment? It's a good question to ask. Well, what do I do with this presence? You carry it with you throughout the course of the day. And allow it to energize your activities. And from now on, you will be able to consciously distinguish between what you're doing and how you're doing it. What you're doing will now carry with it this conscious presence. It is the how you will do. Whew, what a relief. What a relief from the have tos, the shoulds, I ought to. You're in charge. Now here's the bonus. You're no longer going to get lost again in what you're doing. You're no longer going to get lost again in the ego. Gone. You're not going to be duped anymore. You're just not going to be fooled by drama. And little by little, you're going to be even a greater extension of the light that is within you. You're going to see more things that are in harmony with your light rather than simply with your everyday worldly self. You're not going to look so much for things to do in the world as you are from things to do from your light. The world is losing its grip on you. Your satisfaction is now coming from your inner light. Wow. Your satisfaction is coming from your inner light. You're no longer putting a burden on things of the world to make you happy. And here's the bonus again. That because your inner light is joined with oneness, you will be happy in whatever you're doing. Because your inner light is conjoined with oneness. Whatever you're doing will be a source of happiness. Whether it's doing nothing or doing something. Conscious creativity and oneness. You have made the final U-turn back to yourself.
Namaste. sighs, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright to illumine love without, love within. I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. When you are where you need to be, within that space, I honor thee. Seen through eyes of illusion, seen through spirit, we are one. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor
I hope you feel happy today. Just happy knowing who you are, consciously creating the beauty of God's love as you. Oh, with each other in support. Namaste, dear beautiful souls. Namaste.